Yo, welcome back to the No Cut Sports Podcast with your host, Niall Frazier. And you already know we got some things to talk about, but before we even get into that, could you please like and subscribe to always catch this vibe, man? I really do appreciate it. And if you do subscribe to the channel, we are doing a jersey giveaway, a Eagles jersey giveaway, of course. It's supposed to be a Saquon Barkley jersey, but I'm willing to go, a player from the past or the present, somebody out of the draft, whatever the case might be. I'm willing to do that. So let's keep it moving. Let's talk about what we need to talk about today. So first things first, I want to talk about. I just seen an article, right? Jason KELCE has lost his Super Bowl ring. He was doing the New Heights podcast, right? I think in his hometown of Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken, right? And yeah, pretty much the people cleaned up, and I guess he must have left the ring somewhere on the table or in that area, and it's gone. So Philadelphia Eagles, we need to figure out how to get this man another ring because he definitely deserves it. So I just wanted to get that out the way. Jason, if you see this, please find that ring. If y'all find Jason KELCE's ring, give it back to him. You feel me? So, and if not, hopefully he gets another one, man. But that's crazy, man. Hopefully he finds it. So. Moving on, man. Also wanted to talk about OTAs that started, or I guess the voluntary practices, whatever you want to call it. But it started 3 days ago, and everybody pretty much showed up besides Isaiah Rodgers, which, if you don't know, Isaiah's a cornerback. He was previously playing for the Colts and, had a gambling issue, and they ended up giving him a 1-year suspension. So it's been over a year. We heard no more about his reinstatement. And hopefully we hear something soon because I really did want to see him be able to compete for the cornerback position. And then also they say he's a good punt returner and stuff like that, so, or returner in general. But so hopefully that all gets situated before the season. I hope he gets the chance to be able to participate in mini camps, as this is the first time under Nick Sirianni that we are having mini camps, which leads me into my next point. Mini camps have started, like I said, 3 days ago. Today they had interviews with Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, Howie Roseman, Cam Jurgens, and Brandon Graham, if I'm not mistaken, and Brandon Graham in Dallas. And I might touch on a little bit. I guess we just really gonna talk, man, about some things that I heard that stuck out to me during the different interviews. And I'm gonna try to stay on topic. I know I bounce around a lot, so I'm gonna stay on topic, but don't want to make this too long. So we'll start off with the Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni interview, right? So what I took from the interview, it was mostly Howie Roseman talking, which you don't really get too often. He seemed to be in a good mood, which I always try to pay attention to people's emotions, their mood, and things like that. Both Nick Sirianni and Howie were both in good moods. He was joking around with the reporters and things like that when they were asking him questions. One of the reporters had asked Howie, seems like you don't like the cornerback position in the first round, whatever the case is, but he laughed and giggled, and he just played it off. But some of the things that I gathered from the interview today with the two of them was pretty much how he was looking to bring in youth into the building. He spoke about it, bringing in young players and then having them players learn behind some of our older players, such as your Brandon Grahams, Hassan Reddick. We were looking hopefully to have Hassan Reddick or Bryce Huff and Nolan Smith learn from Hassan Reddick for that year. But whatever happened with that, we don't know. But he did speak on that, saying pretty much, because I guess the reporter had asked him, and I think he was talking about Hassan, but a reporter had asked Howie Roseman, like, why would you do what you like? Why would you trade him? And I guess he gave his explanation, but then Howie cut interjecting and said, well, you really can't say that without knowing everything that went on behind scenes. Now, I don't know if that's good or bad. Couldn't tell you. But the way he kind of said it made it seem like there was something more going on with Hassan Reddick in his camp or his situation that led to them moving him to the Jets. Now, Howie got a good relationship with the Jets and things like that, as we already know. But and I think the defensive coordinator, I don't know who their coordinator is. One of the guys used to work for the Eagles too. So Howie pretty much said it was a win-win, but just the vibe I got, he really wasn't too confident in saying that. So that's all we really got from that. But getting back to more or less what he was saying for the team, he was talking about making sure that this team is in a position to win every year. He's always looking for a trade throughout the year. He said he doesn't really care. He said, I'm always looking for a deal. I'm always looking for the trade. He's trying to bring in youth, trying to keep this team as disciplined as possible, because with youth coming in from college, and yeah, some of these schools like your Georgias and your Alabamas, that they breed, well, they usually breed, championship players and things like that. But they also breed that discipline within them as well. But even still, you want to make sure that carries over into the NFL, because as we talked about Jordan Davis throughout our time on this podcast, his him coming into camp in shape, and then throughout the season, he gets to let himself go and things like that. And you want to make sure, like I said, we bring in some of these, you're bringing your Vic Fangios and your Kellen Moores and then their coaches, so they can still be able to implement that discipline, because that's what's going to get us over the hump. Say we go into a slump or something like that, that's what's going to get us over the hump. And then us losing BG and not BG, Fletcher Cox and Jason KELCE, those were two big voices that we had in the locker room that we lost. Probably Hassan Reddick as well, because of how he produced on the field. We're losing that. We lost that as well. So I'm looking to see, some of these players step up and, become the voice in that locker room. I already know AJ's got that dog on him. Devontae definitely going to be saying something. Jalen Hurts as well. But then Jalen Hurts had his interview, and they spoke about Saquon and him getting some early routine workouts in with him. Talked about how he feels he brings a good leadership to the team, and just being an all-around great person and player. Somebody that wants to win just as bad as he does, and is as competitive as Jalen Hurts is. So I know I'm about to bounce around back and forth, but Jalen also talked about, they asked Jalen how he felt about Kellen Moore coming in, him having to switch coordinators for these last 2 years, I think, whatever the case may be. But he spoke and said that he was like, listen, I went to Alabama and I ended up transferring to Oklahoma. He said I had two different coaches, and he said I found success with both. So he's pretty much saying whatever you put in front of him, he's going to be able to do, be able to learn. And I've been watching Kellen Moore's videos, some of his videos from his OTAs with the Chargers, and I try to find some Cowboys footage and things like that, and people breaking down his offense, because I'm still learning it as well. But so far, to be honest with you, the team that we already have constructed, and I've said this before, I think he's going to have a field day. And if you can think about when he had Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb that year, they had a field day. But it's the Cowboys, they do what they do, man. We ain't got to get into that. But he had a field day with those players out there on that field, and had Dak looking like, the next coming, like an MVP player as usual. So, I don't want to say as usual, but he always looks good during the season, and he tapers off, playoffs and stuff like that. But moving on, but he had that team on all go, and if you think about, and I'm not sitting there saying but I think our team is constructed way better than that Dallas Cowboys team was. So if he can do or reconstruct what was going on with them, and be able to take these players even out of the draft, whoever we get out of the draft too, which I might make a different video about, but. Yeah, anybody out of the draft, I think he's going to have a field day. So we'll see about that. But Jalen Hurts, he seems like he's ready to win. It seems like he's holding people accountable too, though. Coaching wise, he's holding people accountable, because they asked him about Brian Johnson, and he didn't speak bad about Brian Johnson, but he pretty much said it might not just have been his time at that moment, because like I said in my previous videos, if you go back and watch, I talked about it the whole year. That was not the offense. That's not an offense that's going to win a Super Bowl. No disrespect, but I have to call it like I see it. That is not an offense that's going to win a Super Bowl. You kept running the same plays week in and week out. You're facing different teams with different tactics of how they're going to, come at you each week, and you're going out there with the same game plan. So it was just a bunch of nonsense to see. Like I said, I don't know whose fault it was, but I know they gave Brian Johnson the opportunity to be the offensive play caller, and it just didn't go as well as we thought it was going to go. So, like I said, they bring in Kellen Moore, they bring in Vic Fangio, two experienced coordinators, and with Vic, you already heard about Vic about being disciplined. So that's another big thing I'm looking forward to, seeing these guys get into shape and do what they need to do to get us back to the championship. So. Moving on to my next topic, they talked about Cam Jurgens talked about a couple of different things, that he's still going to be playing guard, and pretty much I'm taking from it he's going to be the starting center for the Philadelphia Eagles. So we'll see how that goes, man. I think he's going to be just fine, unless maybe Howie sees somebody in the draft, or they even talked about Howie. They had asked Howie not Jeffrey Lurie. I'm so sorry. Stoutland acts when he sees a player that he really likes, and they just started laughing. So I'm thinking, maybe they might stay true to what they know and just go maybe lineman or something like that. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised to see they take a wide receiver. If they can get a wide receiver, a steady. Just think, if you can get a wide receiver that's like 6'3", I went back and looked at this. They already got like their Jeremy Maclin type of wide receivers, and I know I'm going off topic, but if y'all can remember, Jeremy Maclin was like 6'1". He's like my size, right? But Devontae and AJ are both that. AJ is just a super swole 6'1". So Devontae's 6'2", if I'm not mistaken. So, or 6 foot also, excuse me. But I'm thinking like when we had T.O. was 6'3", 6'4", right? Big target. Now I had said before I liked Albert. Now Albert O's a tight end. Now this could probably be completely false. But I was watching Albert O, and I'm like, bro, they might be able to like. Maybe Kellen Moore, like he's probably gonna use him as a tight end because he's that's what he is. But if there's some which way that they can get him to maybe slide into that wide receiver 3 role for whatever reason, I really think he could eat because he's a big target. He's a big target. You could keep Dallas out there, the block, whatever the case may be, but he's a big target. I really do think they might be able to do something with that. But they did speak up. They did speak. Howie did speak too. Somewhat looking into maybe, players learning behind Devontae and AJ. So my thing is this: what player is going to learn behind them two? You know what I mean? Then he looked at Nick, and I'm like, and I'm looking at Nick too. Like, do you know something that we don't about this draft? Because you got Xavier Worthy, you got is it Mims? I can't. Adonis from Texas, the other guy. But there's so many different wide receivers where they can go get. But I'm really looking for a big, because we don't know what's going to happen with AJ. I really do hope that he stays with the team. But if say something happens. If they can go out here and go get a big target to accompany Devontae, there you go, man. And then that tight end situation is going to be popping up soon because like I said, with not Devontae, with Dallas, he's getting older as well. But then maybe you just move in Albert O back into his tight end position if they find somebody in the wide receiver 3 position, whatever the case may be. But that was just the thought that came to my mind. So I was like, man, who are they talking? Like, who would they be talking about that's going to be learning behind, unless they're moving somebody out of their position? Like I said, like an Albert O. But who will be learning unless they go out here in the draft and go find somebody, or during the draft, you already know how he always pulls off some type of crazy trade, man. So I'm looking forward to that next week. I'm thinking that's why they got all their players locked up. And I think that's why he got all his core players locked up, because he's looking to make some type of a splash. Now, they had Adam Scheffner. They had asked Adam Scheffner about if they heard any news about Patrick Surtain being traded, and he said he's heard zero news. So I'm gonna take his word for it, man. But you never know. Like I said, you just don't never know with Howie Roseman. So I'm expecting to see some type of a splash in the draft. I might make a different video about my mock draft. I might do a couple different, mock drafts with my PFF, just to for kicks and giggles, just to see. But I want to say this too. I know one of the couple of mock drafts I did, I was offered picks. So I don't know. I don't take the picks. I just go off of what we got. So maybe during that mock draft, maybe I'll take the picks, wherever the case may be, if the team offers it to me. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm trying to make sure there's nothing else I'm forgetting. Make sure there's nothing I'm forgetting, man. But yeah, man, it just spoke to like the culture that they're trying to set with the Philadelphia Eagles. They're trying to win some championships. Howie Roseman has overly said that he always wants to put this team in a winning situation. So I have my trust in Howie. I have my trust in Jeffrey Lurie and the Philadelphia organization. I have my trust in these players. So I think we'll be able to run it back. I really didn't, and people say that, but I really do feel like we can go back, man. After looking at what I've been seeing with Kellen Moore's offense, and if the players can pick up on it, and if the defense ain't got to be super, crazy, but if it's top 10 defense, I feel like we'll be able to make some noise in the playoffs and hopefully get the NFC Championship, win that, and go to the Super Bowl and win that. So we'll see, man. But with that being said, I don't want to hold you up any longer. Like I said, we're having the Eagles jersey, Saquon jersey, hopefully. But if you want something else, we'll do that too. But we're having an Eagles jersey giveaway. All you have to do is sub to the channel, man. And we're just going to enter your name in, and we'll reach out to the winner and take it from there. So I do appreciate all my